everybody! Welcome to the show! I am Wolfie Bane, your host for today, and we are going to be playing some Solarpunk Savage Worlds in, well, about 26 minutes, honestly. But I am doing what I normally do on days where I do this, where I'm in this show, where I'm on this game. What do I call it? I'm not the GM. This is not my GM show, okay? Yeah, I always do a bit of a preamble because we start at 6:30, but I start my streams at 6, so I do a bit of a shit talk. Just a chat beforehand. I don't usually do chats before my streams, so it's a nice change of pace, and it might make me start doing it on other streams. Admittedly, that is even more hours streamed, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing, because it means that you get more time having to put up with me. Which could also be a horrible thing. God damn it. Yeah, it could be an absolutely tragic thing. Or it could be kind of good. To be honest. Some of you come back, so I must be doing something right, eh? So how's everyone doing today? I hope you're having a good day. Because I'm having a pretty good one. I have been so tired all day today. I may have slept up pretty much all night. Watching streams. I'm a little sleepy. Just a little bit. But yeah, I'm trying to remember all the things that actually happened the other week in... I need to call it Shadowrun then. It's because of the group we're playing it with, okay? A lot of the people who we're playing with were in the Shadowrun group that we last played. Last time I played Shadowrun. It's such a good game. I'm really enjoying Savage Worlds, honestly. It's a weird game. I'd say that'll be the main point for it. It is weird, but it's very good. I like the kind of one of the favourite parts is the damage reduction, honestly. Like, you have to hit above a certain amount of damage to hurt. It is a really cool idea. I know a few other systems that do it. I've actually been watching a lot of Dark Heresy again. A lot of things make me want to run Dark Heresy, because it's a system I've wanted to try for ages. I'm probably at some point, maybe when Geddon's ended, I'll have a bit of a break. And then run, if I can find the players for it, run a Dark Heresy campaign. Because I've got an idea for it. Like, I have an idea for the campaign. I'm not going to spoil it because it will probably be streamed at some point. But I have an idea for one that I think could be fun. I think is an interesting concept that isn't really explored as much as I think it could be. Because Dark Heresy, for anyone who doesn't know, is one of the Warhammer 40k TTRPGs. It is, I'd say, probably the easiest for players to get their head around of the bunch. Well, actually, no, maybe Wrath and Glory would be the easiest now. It's of the older ones, I think it's the easiest. Because you're not playing as any crazy super soldiers, like it. Because basically there are 4 main ones that I can think of for the old Dark Heresy era 40k TTRPGs. I think they're all made by the same people, because they're all fairly modular. Like, you can play them. You can technically play. You can play at least 2 of them together, maybe 3. Now the rules kind of overlap. The 4th one, you very much can't play. Or I guess you can, and it'll be real weird. But yeah, there's the first one is Dark Heresy. You play normal quotation marks. Sorry, I'm going to be under the blanket for as long as possible because it's cold. You play as fairly normal people. You're acolytes to Inquisitor, so you are... You could be someone just from the universe, like a normal human. So, like, the weirdest you get, there's Psykers and mutants, which I guess Psykers are technically mutants in 40k, but there's, like, a couple of, like, offshooty ones, but that's more like a class rather than, yeah, like, you don't play as an orc, for instance, or anything weird, or an Eldar, or anything too weird like that. That's Dark Heresy. So Dark Heresy, you play as acolytes to Inquisitors, and you go and do stuff. You're expected to die, ish, but you're people with special skills, that kind of thing. You are unique individuals, kind of thing. So things you can play in that are like Psykers, which are like essentially the weird psychic magic casters in 40k. You could play as assassins. You can play as former soldiers, like former members of the Imperial Navy. You can play as like demon hunters. There's a lot of variety that you can play in. Or you can play as a clerk, essentially like someone who's really good at the talking, like all that kind of roles that you'd think of, like you're normal people, but you have your specialisms and you have like what you're good at. Then there is, what's it called? Deathwatch? Yeah, Deathwatch, which is the closest one that you can play with Dark Heresy that could be made as a system. I think. Like, you could play Dark Heresy and Deathwatch together and it wouldn't be the worst thing. Like, they work fairly well. But you just have to realise that in Deathwatch, you're playing as a Space Marine, who are insane compared to normal humans. Like, most of the rules are the same. I think it's so you can put Space Marines as characters in Dark Heresy, and it works fairly well. But the power level is very different. For, like, one person, like, one standard PC in Deathwatch is probably could probably wipe out an entire party in Dark Heresy, because it's a Space Marine. You're supposed to. You're living warrior gods. You basically play as demigods in essentially a fortress of ceramite and adamantium armor with automatic rocket launchers as a hand weapon. So yeah, you play as Space Marines and do Space Marine things. They are still working for the Inquisition, like you're not... So you can have like a group of different chapters of Space Marines, which is like the big thing for them, really. Is you're basically working for the order that kills aliens, so you're like essentially mercenary Space Marines, but not really mercenaries. Like, you're still loyal to the Imperium, you're just not working for your chapter anymore. But you still have the chapter abilities, it's kind of like that, so you can play as a different Space Marine chapters. So you can play as, like, all the classics. And I think they've got a unique one, like the Stormlords or something like that, who are like Thor-based Space Marines, which is kind of cool. And most things, most mediums, they've got their own Space Marine chapter because that's what they're allowed for Games Workshop. They can make their own chapter. So you can play as pretty much any of the Loyalist Space Marines. Most of them, I think, have a rule set. So you can play as the Space Wolves, who are good at fighting and like all the survival rangery stuff. You can play as the Ultramarines, who have very good leadership skills. Surprisingly, because they're Ultramarines. It's a bit of a jab. I hate Ultramarines, okay? You can play as Blood Angels, really good at charging, if memory serves. You play Dark Templars, who are very good at being crazy zealots. Imperial Fists were good with bolters and building shit, that kind of stuff. And it's a lot of fun, and I really want to play that one too. Very combat heavy, that one, because obviously you're Space Marines, so you're supposed to go in and blow shit up. There's Rogue Trader, which I guess is the other one that you could sort of play with the others, because I think Rogue Trader has... I think Rogue Trader's the one that you can technically play as anything, because you're working for Rogue Trader. And the Rogue Trader is, like, they're allowed a lot of freedom compared to most others. So it's like one person, possibly one person, or there's going to be an NPC doing it, is going to be the Rogue Trader, who is basically a space pirate merchant kind of guy who goes around and explores and does business deals and, like, the outskirts, and is allowed a lot more freedom than anyone has every right to do, and is allowed to basically commit horrific acts of heresy and still kind of get away with it because they have a permit, essentially. They're allowed to do the stuff that everyone else would be incinerated for. So you can... Hello, Rook. You get a lot of fun with that, because I know that is the one where you can play as an orc. You can have, like, an orc, a human, an Eldar, and a Space Marine in the same party, and it actually is, like, works properly in the rules. The Space Marines are kind of weird, though, because they are going to wipe out pretty much anything in combat. I think there was a thing which says, yes, you can, in theory, have a Space Marine be in Rogue Trader, like, because there are rogue Space Marines, essentially, which aren't aligned with Chaos, but they are not working for anybody, so they're kind of doing their own thing. I think it's the Men of Steel, or something like that. But yeah, they can be played. You can play as any of those, essentially. And it was like, if you're playing as one of these, if you've got one of these Space Marines in the party, just accept that all combat is going to end with the players absolutely stomping it, and it is no longer a threat. Because the Space Marines are that powerful that pretty much anything that isn't overwhelming, that will kill all the other party members, the Space Marines are going to be put at a challenge. They're kind of bullshitly good. But that's the point, they're Space Marines. They're barely supposed to be human. They are human by technicality more than anything else. And then you have the one that I want to be in more than any other. The one that is by far the hardest to run. And probably the hardest to play properly, but the one I want to play the most. Black Crusade. Now, Black Crusade, you play as either cultists or Chaos Space Marines. So you play as the baddies. So there is a massive amount that you can do for it. But the power scaling is so weirdly different. It's the main one that you can play as humans and Space Marines, and it actively, like, works. It's designed to be played as some people play as Chaos Space Marines and some people play as cultists. You can do either way, like, fine. But that is a whole thing. Like, it is designed with the intention that, yes, you can do this. You can have people in the party who are cultists, and some people in the party who are just, like, Chaos Space Marines. And it kind of works. But apparently it is very complicated compared to the others, but very, very fun. And I really, really want to play it. Particularly because it is the only one that you can play as my favourite things in 40k. It literally has a World Eater's Khorne Berserker rules. It has literally, this is the starting stuff you get for being a World Eater Khorne Berserker. So, yeah. It's what I really want to play, because I adore the World Eaters. World Eaters are my favourite Legion, I'll call it. They're my favourite faction in Warhammer 40k. I'm a big fan. They are the Sons of Angron, my favourite Primarch. They are the big, like, Spartan gladiator bloodthirsty monsters. And also the faction you want to get into close combat with the least, because they will absolutely massacre anyone else. In lore, at least. And in the tabletop, if they got into combat, they were pretty fucking good as well, to be honest. Like, even with their severely nerfed rules. Because they haven't been updated yet. But hey, 2022. Year of Chaos. It's gonna be. It's gonna be all the Chaos updates are gonna come out in 2022. For Age of Sigmar and 40k. And we're gonna love it. We'll get at least Fulgrim, I think, next year as well. But yeah, you can actually play as like a full party of different Chaos God aligned Chaos Space Marines. So like someone can play as a Noise Marine, and there is actually rules for an Emperor's Children Noise Marine. There are rules for like Thousand Sun. I think you can play as a Thousand Sun, at least Sorcerer. I don't know if you can play as one of the Rubric, which are like the foot soldiers of the Thousand Suns, but I know you can at least play as a Sorcerer. You can play as a Plague Marine. You can play as one of the Nurgle Plague Marines from the Death Guard. And you can play as everything in between. Like, it has all the factions, but I think those 4, as they should be, have like a slightly higher requirements to play. Like, they have like a bit of a points, extra couple points, and if you play with other characters, which are like a normal Chaos Space Marine, they will get a slight upgrade in, like, you get like 200 XP free. Because these special ones are essentially boosted up versions of the standard, like, classes. And they all do fantastically horrifying things. And yeah, the cultists, the way they balance the cultists, basically, is you're still a cultist, so you kind of suck, but you get a massive amount of extra XP if there is a Space Marine in the party. If there's a Chaos Space Marine party. So a Chaos Space Marine, like, starting out, will just have what the base stuff gives them for the Chaos Space Marine. If you are being a cultist, you will get, like, all your base cultist stuff, and because the Chaos Space Marine in the party, you'll get, like, 700 experience. It depends on which classes there are. Because I believe it's whichever the highest cost is, gets the base. So, like, I think World Eater and Plague Marine... Actually, I think the 4 Cult Marines, we'll call them, that's essentially what they are, have the highest cost of about the same. I think maybe the Thousand Suns is the most, because they're a Psyker. And they get... and like the other party members will get a significantly larger amount of XP to make them kind of on par with this very, very powerful base character. Which is very cool, and I'm a big fan of it. They did the same thing in Wrath and Glory, essentially. Like, they based it on that system, where you get a lot of extra things if you start off as, like, one of the basic classes, if you're in a higher tier game. But you like the ability of that class, or whatever. God, I miss Wrath and Glory. We had a lot of fun in Wrath and Glory. We played a very memey campaign, not on stream, and it wasn't finished, unfortunately. Not for bad reasons. It was just the GM that we had basically is the kind of person that switches from project to project a lot. So just like lost his luster for it, really, and we just stopped. Even though we all kind of really wanted to play, but he doesn't mind. We had a lot of fun while doing it, and it caused some hilarious moments. We played what we affectionately nicknamed the campaign Carry On Guardsman. It was a very piss-takey Wrath and Glory game where basically the premise, I've definitely talked about this on the stream before. The premise of the campaign happened because a couple of us immediately built. We were playing as the lowest tiers of character, and there's only a limited number of classes you can play that. You can only be human. Well, I think you could be an Eldar or something, but Yeah, there was like a couple for like the Eldar and the Orc, but it didn't really make sense. And we all wanted to make sense of the party together. So, one person made themselves a Sister of Battle. Because the Sister Hospitalier was like the lowest rank sister, but it was one of like the better classes to start with. So they went, okay, they get a bunch of just basic skills off the bat, so very good equipment, a very powerful ability. They're just very good. They're pretty low on offense, was their thing. Like, they've got a chain bayonet, and that was like it. So they're very good in close quarters, but that's it. Oh, they had no gun. Or they had like a crappy las pistol or something. But they're basically the medic. But they're still a Sister of Battle, so they get all the basic Sister starting gear, like power armor. Even if it's cheap, if it's pretty bad power armor, it's still power armor. And that's what you start as. So, for the same XP, the rest of us were like, we don't really like the rest of these. So I went, I'm going to play an Imperial Guardsman. I like the Guardsman at this tier. It's got a cool ability. It'll be a lot of fun. I like playing the tanks, and outside of playing another Sister of Battle, which I'm never a fan of playing, like... I don't like playing medic characters. Like, I know it gives you a bunch of, like, durability stuff, so you can definitely be the tank as well. But you're still a medic, and I don't like really playing as medics. So, I'm not good at the healer. I've never been good at healer. So, I went, nah, you know what? I'm gonna play an Imperial Guardsman. I've got good ideas for this. I picked the sub-faction. I was playing one of the Valhalla Ice troops, so they're very hard to scare, I think was pretty much it. But they get some neat little ability as a little bonus. Because they all do. And I think I think it's like they've got more willpower, essentially. More resolve, that was it. Was the Valhallans one. So they are, and they're made of sterner stuff than your average person. And the other two party members, and the other one was like, well, I'm also going to play Imperial Guardsman. And so the third character in our party was like, I'm not really sure what to play. He went, wait a minute, should I also be a Guardsman? Because Guardsman has, like, no requirements. You get a decent amount of just starting gear. But the thing is, all you require points-wise to spend is you need Ballistic Skill 2. Which was very easy to get. So we all popped up as Guardsmen. We all had very different specializations. Like, my guy was essentially Captain America. He had, like, no brain, essentially, though. He was very dumb, but he was, like, he was a good lad, was what I always described him as. He was, like, the very, like, obedient, he was a big dude. Like, very stereotype, like, jock, essentially. Like, he definitely, like, got through school on PE classes. By the way, no offense to any of this, because I was playing the character, and I really liked the character. That they were, like, born to be a soldier, good at following orders, wouldn't hesitate at all for the line of duty, was very selfless, was like, of course, for the Emperor. And was very much on point for that. One of us, who's the biggest Imperial Guardsman fan of the lot of us, so we knew I really should have realised he was going to play an Imperial Guardsman as well. Played as a Kriegsman, which, if anyone knows of the Kriegsman, his favourite faction of the Imperial Guard are the Kriegsmen, so he played the most Kriegsman ever. He played a crazy fanatical psychopath with a flamethrower and a shovel in a gas mask who never took his gas mask off. And he was fucking hilarious. Like, Tim's character was very, very funny in the game. It was an absolute blast. And Tom played the only not crazy one of the three of us. He played like a very small little, like, Steel Legion technician guardsman, essentially. So he was very much like, yeah, I kind of want to stay alive. Like, he was obviously, like, still very devoted for everything, but it was not as much, I'm going to throw myself in the line of fire. Because the Guardsman's ability in Wrath and Glory is essentially look out, sir. They can throw themselves in the path of incoming fire and just take the damage instead of someone else in the party. So three of us... So it was the three of us all playing Imperial Guardsmen with the Sister of Battle, who was actually tankier than us. Like, my character was about on par with her, but she was in power armor, which really close. Like, her character was a lot squishier than me, but she had power armor, so we were about even in durability. But all three of us would willingly throw ourselves in the line of fire, and did repeatedly. Because she was essentially our superior, because we're guardsmen, we're just grunts. We are very aware. He's like, oh yeah, you'll all have to be purged at the end of this mission. Yeah, we know. We're expecting that. But it's for the Emperor, so we're fine with it. All that matters is we complete the mission. We're accepting our fate. And she didn't realise how gung-ho we'd all be on it. Like, the person playing... it was the person playing Opal. Who was playing Opal in this campaign. Was playing it. So, she didn't realise that all three of us, if she told us to do something, we would just do it. And there'd be no pushback, because as far as we're all concerned, she's our superior officer. And in 40k, you disobey your superior officer, you're getting shot. So we're like, well, yeah, of course we do. Why wouldn't we? I was literally ordered, shoot this man, and I just did. And she went, oh, fuck. I think it was that moment she realised just how much power she had in the party. We burned down several buildings, we, like, slaughtered a bunch of people, like, without hesitation. But her character, hilariously, she'd picked up, basically, she had followers as well. Where she had a group of little, like, acroflagellants who would always, like, throw themselves in the way. So she had, like, 7 bodies that would just, like, before she took any damage, these 7 individual characters would take shots for her. So she was virtually immortal because she just couldn't get hit. At one time, there was, like, a sniper, and 2 of us were fighting over who would get to be shot. Because we both wanted to use the our guardsman ability to protect this other character. God, it was a blast. It was a blast. Yes, we nicknamed it Carry On Guardsman because none of us were taking it 100% seriously. 3 of us knew 40k very well. The only one who didn't, hilarious, was the Sister of Battle. Now, she knew a bit because she liked the sisters, but she wasn't like as crazy into it as 2 of us definitely. Like me and Tim both know 40k very well, and Tom knows it very well as well, but he's not quite as directly into the world as us two. But he still knew all the other stuff, and the GM was also very into 40k. So something would happen, and we'd click. And we'd, like, click on to what the fuck was going on. But she wouldn't. But if we would tell her, well, yeah, this is heresy, you want us to kill it, right? And she went, yeah, sure. She had no idea. But we were being very honest about it. But we were very much praising the Emperor. We were like, hamming it up a bit more because, like, as far as we're concerned, our superior officer is like, oh, yeah, there's one of these essentially holy agents. We better up our game a bit. So it's like, yeah, for the Emperor, for the Emperor. We wouldn't probably be that normally as people, but we were because of that. Oh, it was so good. I missed that campaign. I want to run that again. I don't think I could, though. I couldn't get the same magic as that campaign. I'm sure I could make something that's pretty fun, but I don't think I could get quite the magic of Carry On Guardsman. Partially because it'd just be such a pain in the ass to get the same players again. And that was, like, the main advantage of it. But I want to run a 40k game, a 40k TTRPG at some point. There will be one, almost certainly, if I can find the players who'd be down to both have me GM and to play the 40k. Because not that many people I know... There's, like, a mix of... I don't know if they know 40k that well, and... is okay with me and likes how I GM. There's not like that much crossover in people I know. There's some. But that 40k games, you get more out of it if you know 40k. And I'm sure I could find some people. I might do it with a lot of the Geddon and Altera people. I might see who can do games and things like that. And who would be up for it. But it'll be after Geddon. It will definitely be after Geddon. And I'm going to find some people. Yeah, just wait for one more person to join the chat. As soon as one more person joins the TTRPG room, I will join it as well. But yeah, man, I miss that game. I miss a lot of the games, honestly. We've done a lot of like real fun games that I'm really sad I didn't stream because they're chaotic as fuck. They like seriously bring the noise with a few of us when we get to play together. It's because a lot of us, like in this game, two of the players, like me and Tom, the guy who's playing like our charisma cocky face guy now, who used to be the horseman, we are 9 times out of 10 the GMs. Although that's kind of weird saying that a lot on my channel because I'm actually in 2 games at the moment where I'm a player. But more often than not, I will be a GM. It's just the role I get because there's not that many people in GM, and I enjoy GMing. I prefer playing, though. I do prefer being the player because I like the story. And I like to be, like, swept along in the story, essentially. But, I do like making my own as well. Where is everybody else? Or is Dan just doing setup? Yeah, because I see Dan is the only other one in the server at the moment. But yeah, there's I enjoy a lot of this group as well. But me, Tom and Alistair have been in a lot of campaigns together. Usually Tom's the GM. Like he's one of the best GMs I know. He's an absolutely fantastic GM. When he gets the time to do it. He doesn't get much time to do it at the moment. But hey, hopefully at some point in the future, he is going to be running a TTRPG, which I'm going to ask permission if I can stream, on Tables Fire with the Cyberpunk assets. I think we're going to play Cyberpunk Red. I'm super looking forward to that, because he was our Shadowrun GM. Tom was our Shadowrun GM, and I adored playing in the Shadowrun Cyberpunk settings. And he can really GM them. Like, he does a fantastic job. Ah, there we are. There's one more person.
And there's Bane.
Hi! We are live.
Are we live?
Yes, we are live.
Does that mean we shouldn't continue pushing our opinions on Modo over Arena?
Possibly not. I'm not sure. Hey, Jake.
Modo is the superior way to play Magic. All that can be said.
True.
Even though it's no longer called Modo. It's really insane how long terms like that stick around.
It is one of those things, really, isn't it? Sometimes they stick around long enough to become keywords.
I doubt they're going to make Modo a keyword.
Probably not.
it did make sense, at least, for them to make Mill one.
Yeah, that's what exactly I was referencing.
To be fair, wasn't that one that they didn't call it mill because they were kind of looking for a more elegant word for it for years, and just
Yeah.
one never presented itself, so they just
Gave up.
gave in.
Yeah. Peer pressure. Apologies everyone that my mic is a bit buggered, by the way. My old one literally broke. So.
Oh. I mean, you sound a little bit kind of echo. It's not quite echoey, but like maybe your gain's just a touch high.
Maybe
But
it's
other than that,
yeah. It's just my old mic essentially, so it's just not quite as good.
yeah.
So anyway, my good one doesn't work without the mixer, really, and the mixer's fried.
From the cat.
Yeah, the cat knocked it, and turns out that killed it. Actually, like a couple hours later, the cat knocked it again, and it was just like fucked, beyond repair. So.
I feel like you're gonna have to choose between your cats and your Stream Deck.
Now the next one, I'm getting a heavier duty Stream Deck. Hopefully.
Maybe you're putting it somewhere it's less likely to get knocked over.
Yes. Kind of the main idea. It's gonna be like locked in place.
And here's me getting all excited for Arena's reset on ranked in an hour. 20 minutes at this point, and it was like, oh yeah, we've got Solarpunk. I completely blanked on it today. I've been like doing so much other stuff that it just slipped my mind. Thankfully, I don't have to make a character sheet this week.
Yeah, you actually
This is
survived.
true.
Barely, but you lived.
Maybe I should have made a character sheet.
It could have been worse. You could have gotten like a leg injury on your super fast character.
Just, what does this do? Ah, it negates one of my main benefits.
Hey, I make no apologies for, the post-apocalyptic survival setting being hard on your characters.
Not hard on our characters, Dan. It's hard on my characters.
Yeah, it really is.
No, I feel like Valve has taken a bit of a beating.
That's too fair. It's not been particularly hard on mine and Jay's character yet. I'm sure it will.
I mean, he lost a battery.
He did.
Also, you can just fix the robot. Roll 20? Is it roll 20? Yeah, it is
Yeah,
roll
it is.
20. Don't know why I was having such a sudden wave of doubt as to what program is used for.
I mean, clearly I'm running this on early builds of Tailspire.
Just. Tailspire's great.
Tailspire is great. I was actually talking about that in my pre-Amble stuff.
Like the new Cyberpunk assets they've been showing off are gonna be real nice for any kind of Cyberpunk games, and like I'd say more like Shadowrun-esque games and Cyberpunk games than Blade Runner stuff.
I'd agree with that, yeah.
Like, obviously it's better for the more sort of alternate timeline ones rather than the distant future ones.
Because it is like, most of the stuff looks fairly modern, like a little more high-tech, but most of it is like, oh yeah, this is identify a building with vents and things. I just love the vents. I love the vents an unreasonably large amount in that preview. It was so good looking.
I've sent Astra a Solarpunk poke.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Solarpunk.
Beautiful. I have been considering, because I did see it was on Kickstarter, I did at the time consider backing the Altered Carbon TRPG, but I'll probably see how the rule set shakes out before I
I heard
pull
about
the
that one.
trigger.
Were we chatting about that one a while back? Because I remember it. Like, that one sticks in the mind for some reason.
Maybe. I think it was back before that when I was talking about running it as like doing like a Savage Worlds plugin for like Altered Carbon stuff.
That might have been it. Yeah, because all Carbons definitely sticks in the mind for a TTRPG for some reason. So
honestly, it's a really nice setting. Also, the fact that maybe it would suit me in the fact that it's okay. You don't die. You just move on.
Hello.
Hello.
So,
hello. That's
That's
fine.
fine. That happens with us not running last week.
Yeah.
Because Jason was feeling shitty.
I did the same. You're just lucky that I happened to be chatting to Dan in the other chat, and he went, "Oh yes, I'm gonna go get ready for Solarpunk things," and I went, "What?"
Yeah. Oh shit! Yeah, that's
Solar
today.
Punk?
It's good that you did remember, because I was just sitting there going, okay, I'll wait until one other person joins in the chat. Then was waiting,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like, we're getting quite a bit over time.
That was because I'd said I'd moved to the other
Overtime.
chat once I found my keys, and I found them. They're behind my bowl.
Yeah, we went overtime. I joined that chat at past.
Yeah, hey, you were on time, Dan. I'm not even...
Is that your cheese bowl, Tom?
No, I say it was my bowl. What did I have in there? Oh, there were leftovers in it that I was eating. That's why I don't remember what was in it, because it was leftovers.
It was just kind of food.
Yeah.
At that point.
Generic food-shaped object entered my radius. But also
Dairy product.
why I didn't notice that my keys were behind it was because I didn't process the fact that the bowl existed. In my head I was looking for keys, not a bowl. Why would I look behind the bowl? The bowl is not keys.
You just reminded me that I got woken up today by one of my cats screaming its head off outside because it had caught a mouse. I was like the most pain in the ass wake up I've had so far for a while.
I've learned not to let my cats out in the morning before I feed them.
It wasn't let out in the morning, it was let out the previous evening, it didn't come back.
Right. So, with the context this is for an Altered Carbon TRPG, like, it makes more sense, but just the fact that this Kickstarter includes the line, become the envy of your most elite meth friends in work.
Meth friends?
Yeah, which I...
We had those in society. That's a joke
the
that
sagas
not
of
everybody
society.
here will get.
Yeah, welcome, welcome Twitch audience.
Audience likely won't.
Yeah, but almost certainly not.
100% won't. I can't think of
Hey,
anyone that we knew.
I don't want to make the assumption that some of Bane's audience aren't people we know. It's unlikely, but it's possible.
It could happen. I will give you, there is a faint chance it could happen. But on the other hand, it's so unlikely.
Wow, thanks.
Look, we know the people we know,
You did it.
Yeah, is Gemma watching it?
Probably not.
clearly.
Probably not.
Right. Who wants to do recap for a Benny? Which
You
was
should, Tom. I think
You
you,
know
need
what?
the Benny.
Which was the precedent we established last time.
I'm just gonna award myself the additional Benny now, because wait, can I not spawn a Benny in? Let me... Okay,
I don't
can't
think we have
spawn in. permission.
permissions on the Bennies. Oh my god.
There we go.
I can do stuff with bunnies.
There we go. I've added an extra Benny to myself, so I'm volunteering. So, there were this caravan of people travelling across the wastes. I was keeping an eye on them from a distance, jumping between rooftops, making sure that I knew exactly who they were, where they were, what was going on. They spotted me. It was enlightening. I was ready for a fight, and then they were like, hey, you know, we lost people. You haven't immediately shot us. Do you want a job? And I'm like, wait, you guys have food and water and, like, supplies? And, you know, I was sold immediately.
Of course.
Like, so, they said the word supplies, and suddenly they were my best friends.
Not suspicious at all?
You were also very accurate with your factor of, oh yeah, everything just goes well when I'm there.
Yeah.
We
like,
didn't realise you didn't
everything-
mean not for yourself, but for everyone else it went
Look,
quite well.
Everything. No. It all worked out well in the end because I'm not dead.
Yeah.
And obviously, if it had gone badly, I'd have just been dead.
Yeah, you have some shrapnel in your stomach.
But anyway, getting on to that fact, we were, parked up for the night, found a nice zone. Nothing seemed to be wrong. I took the first watch, much to the robot's chagrin, because I insisted that I would be helpful and took the first watch.
I don't usually take watches.
I
That
thought I'd
was
be good.
chagrin.
And I thought that, the robot could probably use a rest too first, so that the robot would be nice and fresh and ready for its watch. And after I took my first watch, nothing happened. And then we had the second watch, where nothing happened.
Yep.
And then the robot juiced itself up with its morning battery coffee. Went into searching things and went, hey look, there's some people with dubious devices doing something to the caravan.
Alert! Alert! Unknown people sneaking into
Yeah,
camp!
thankfully, although we killed some of them before they got these devices off, they did fill the entire area with, almost no exception, just with smoke.
Which caused me to think, potentially, I may have just murdered one of the random people in our
that's fine.
caravan.
Nah, it's fine.
Had
It
it
was
coming.
fine. It all works out in the end. Only 2 of the scoundrels got away. One of them by crawling under a car and disappearing into the smoke. The other after an intense standoff where I honourably offered to let them give our stuff back instead of hosing them down with my laser SMG. And they, in a treacherous act, popped a grenade through a letterbox and blew me up. And
The one emergency grenade given to the group.
Which obviously hit Tom.
I almost had a tragic accident, but thankfully everyone in the group was, like I said, it all works out right in the end. Nothing happened to me that was terrible.
Other than a permanent injury.
Yeah, I have a permanent injury. I don't remember what the permanent injury was.
Minus agility, permanently, essentially.
That was
You had
it.
shrapnel in your gut, I remember.
And I was like, you know what? I can live with that.
It wasn't your leg blown off, so...
Yeah, like, I'm okay having a little bit of shrapnel in my body, because maybe at some point one of those pieces of shrapnel will deflect a bullet. And like I say, it all works out well in the end.
Maybe one day you'll become Tony Stark.
Yeah,
Okay, yes, you may have your Benny. As a check,
I already claimed it.
no, we'll say as a check, because I know we established it in the session that you were getting an advancement each session,
Yep.
because it was a shorter campaign. Has everybody done theirs?
Yes.
I have
No.
maxed out my fighting. I think.
Right,
I
you're-
have free running.
Yes.
I'll do it as we go, and I'll tell you once I've decided what I put.
Yeah,
Chris?
I had a racial +1 fighting so I can get to +1.
But-
Capped
but
out,
quick.
right?
Yes.
Did you level up essentially?
I just took one that lets other people use my bennies,
Yes,
so I never
that
have
is-
to touch the things.
That is the thing.
I can't believe you refuse to use them just because you hate
I-
the phrase Benny.
I appreciate the fact that I now have 7 bennies.
Yeah,
You should.
you probably will, honestly.
I think it only works if I'm in sight and I have to tell you how I gave you my Benny, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll sort that bit out now. Whenever you use my bennies, it's just me giving you an endearing thumbs up.
For Tom, all the advice is just gonna be stop, drop and roll, or fetal position, or run like hell.
Have you
But yeah.
considered not dying?
Put your hand on the wound and staunch it until I can get to you to give you medical attention.
But yes, in that case. With your wounds patched up as best as you can, your robot with a new battery, and you having checked your inventory and realised that between the 2 thieves that got away, you had lost your bag of MacGyver stuff,
Okay.
3 sets of rations, some of like the assorted cruise bags, and more importantly, the caravan leader's bag, including keys and like the log of travel, the keys to the uni building and the log of travel, that you are probably not wanting to stay here where they know where you are.
Yep.
Alright, fellas, in that case, let's pack down this camp and let's get moving on towards wherever the hell it is you guys want us to go.
Yep. Let's get moving.
I would suggest wherever there is food and water.
Eh.
Okay. So it takes us all about half an hour to clean up the mess and make sure everything's alright, that the carts weren't damaged, and get going on your way. It's still dark, but it's going to be getting light soon, so you don't feel too bad about leaving now. You'll just, rather than leaving at first light, you're leaving just before.
On the bright side, we get to look at the wonderful sunrise as we walk.
Yep.
And not think about its hellish, presumably kill rays.
And the robot comes back to life again.
Mm. Yeah. Anyway, you do eventually, at this point in the week, you just would be getting to the uni building.
Mhm.
Though obviously you are out of, you no longer have the keys to get in.
I have a key.
So, look, I mean, it's a door. Is
I could
there
try
much-
picking it.
I mean,
I think the issue was that it was an electronic lock that defaulted to close when the circuit was out of power.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
could
just.
try
that-
hacking it then.
I'm just hefting my sledgehammer and going.
yeah,
If you want
can
to.
you, like, you can just power it. No, let the man in the coat do the quiet thing.
Okay.
Maybe we can, like, you know, set it up.
Okay.
Maybe add some tanks to the roof. It'd be alright, like, little base here, wouldn't it?
Problem is that
Okay.
group nicked the thing that lets them know where it is.
Yeah.
What, a
but
map?
If you got enough people in here, like, surely, like, you know, it's a building. Every building exists, whereas this one looks nice. Locked doors. Well, doors for a start.
Doors is a start.
Okay, so
Hack-
I'm gonna jack of all trades, my smarts,
Mhm.
first of my hacks. That's a raise.
Nice.
That is a raise.
And then, well, the strange fellow's having his big grand speech. I'm gonna try and hack this door
Yeah.
and fail miserably.
I believe last time what you did, you had to last time use wired up a solar battery to the system to get some power into the door, and then use the fob you had to get through.
Yeah.
So you could do the same thing to give it power with the solar battery. You just need a way to unlock it.
I was going to suggest to give you the assist, but the assist wouldn't have mattered on that roll.
Yeah, it would not have done anything. If all of
Huh.
us together have assisted, it barely would have made anything.
Oh, no. I
Oh,
go with the smashing now.
Okay.
I'll say that yeah, you managed to wire thing up, get the power on, and it's not like it's a digital security thing with any sort of code. It's just it registers something in the fob that makes it complete the circuit.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the sledgehammer to the door now.
That's why I suddenly take an edge that helps my hacking.
Mhm.
Alright. Time to open the door.
Bam! When I roll.
Let me double.
Because the sledgehammer has +2 to breaking shit. That is literally one of the abilities on it.
Strength, I guess?
Maybe?
I'm guessing.
So
Then
just roll.
Athletics?
Actually, strength or athletics, I guess.
They're the same, so. Athletics modifier +2. Or is it just modifier 2 or +2? I can't remember.
Modifier 2.
2.
You only put a symbol if it's a negative.
Yep, not quite a raise, but it did pass.
I believe when you're trying to break things, you essentially roll against the object's toughness. No bonus or races. Depends on what you're trying to break. So
Yeah, I think
use
they have
the-
a hardness value usually, and you roll damage against hardness.
Okay.
But you're not fighting it, so I would say it's still athletics. As sort of a physical prowess for trying to break it, but I guess roll damage to see if you break the door with
+2.
your
Sledgehammer. Or breaching
with
hammer,
sled-
whatever it is.
your sledgehammer's special thing.
14.
Yes. You like bring your hammer round you and just give it a big hefty swing into the door.
Mhm.
And where you hit the door, just on the lock, just splinters and the lock falls out.
Okay, so I give the door a bit of a heave now. Is it opening, essentially?
Yeah, you essentially now have a set of double doors with a semicircle hole in each of them where the lock would be. Just bang in the middle.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess Caravan Leader, do you want to go do whatever it is you guys are doing with this building?
Yeah, you get the door open and says, right. He gives a whistle. I'd do it, but I don't want to ruin your ears through the mic.
That is appreciated.
He gives a sharp whistle. He's like, right, get inside, take inventory, and we'll see about bringing stuff out to the caravans. Somebody get those doors propped open.
So I'll go T-pose and keep the doors open.
Just prop the robot against the door.
So, robots, they need to like squeeze past you, robot. Maybe like hold one of the doors open. I'll hold the other door open. They can move between us.
I'll go and grab something to just like wedge the door for a bit.
Yeah, like a bunch of them just shuffle like single file into the building, heading down the corridors. The last couple of people in are carrying like big heavy metal blocks, handles. You just put down to hold the doors.
See? And here was me thinking I'd be holding that all day.
Well done. You've been promoted from inanimate object.
You've been promoted from doorstop.
So, we're stopping for a spot of lunch then while they do all the real work.
Huh?
I need to do some searching myself. I lost some equipment.
Look, you can eat if you want, but we need somebody to keep an eye out.
I'll be keeping an eye out, don't worry.
Don't worry, nothing sneaks past my hungry eyes.
I am also good at observation.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Wait. Any of you guys got anything like... I'm gonna kind of like gesture at the SMG and like longer ranged?
Right.
What did we do with your gun? Your previous gun?
I don't know, I know you
you said you need to look for some stuff.
Yes, so
Right.
because I
you-
lost my MacGyver bag, I'm
Yeah.
in short going to try and replace my MacGyver bag with the random
Right.
shit I find in the science building.
Right, you can come in with those. You can show us around, tell us what you found so far, give us the lowdown on the place, so we can know what to prioritize with the organisation while you figure out what you need.
Oh, I still have Horseman's gun.
Anything you find, you'll be able to use on your way back, but is still property of the expedition, so you'll need to hand it over when we arrive.
Sure.
Well,
Shall we go and start the tour?
yeah, you guys go start the tour. I
Right,
guess
come on then.
man in the power armor, maybe go on the roof with the gun and like keeping an eye out.
Yeah, I can manage it. I don't have the stats for the gun, by the way. I literally just have written still in my
I can
inventory.
probably just send it to you if you if for some reason you fire it.
Yeah, it's like, I have it. Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I will carefully go up the.
Is that really the best idea? I don't think you have any points in shooting.
I think I have one.
I wasn't going to tell him that until he tried to fire it.
I have 1 point in shooting.
No?
Yeah, I have a
Not
D4.
according to your sheet.
Well, he might have a D4 in shooting.
Yeah, I have D4 in shooting. Does my sheet seriously not say that?
Your sheet just has shooting with nothing filled in.
Ah, it should have 1.
There you go. Fill your D4 in.
I think it's
So you
because
only half the time miss completely.
yeah, I think it's because I was looking through and going, okay, which ones have I definitely got? Okay, yes, I have all these.
There you go.
It's thankfully I have 2 character sheets, one that has like all my actual stuff and one's the roll 21.
Well, you keep an eye out up there and provide long-range fire support, and I'll be down here, sort of firing at anything that comes too close. So just make sure you like yell at me if you see anything.
Yeah, unfortunately for you, your party sniper wasn't around long enough to become important enough to stick around as an extra.
So,
Yeah, I
Robot,
would say
make
for
me
my-
food.
You sure you want me to make food? I'm going up on the roof.
I said robot.
Oh.
Anyway, scientist man, the same thing.
Wait, you want me to make food? Okay.
Yes, the robot with no sense of smell.
No, it's,
Or
it's
taste.
fine. I'll roll my jack of all trades
For cooking?
Yes, this is
for whatever skill cooking would be under, unless it's a skill I already have.
It's probably
Common
survival.
knowledge, maybe.
It's probably survival or plumber knowledge, yeah.
I guess for human, like for like people, it would be common knowledge. For you, I'm saying survival.
Ah, I see. So instead of a skill I'm competent at, but one I'm incompetent at.
Exactly.
Understood. Let me roll smarts to see if I'm.
You've never
any
had
good
to
at this.
cook before. It's not going to be common knowledge for you.
Apparently you're good at cooking, though.
Well, that's my smarts for my jack of all trades.
Yeah, that's 2 races.
Well,
D6.
no, it's a nice D6 on survival.
-1. Somehow.
1 minute. I blocked it.
You broke it.
survival. And then we click survival, and
Oh.
we cook food.
You got a
Yeah,
raise.
you got a race. Like, you scan through your memory banks for a minute, and then it hits you that somewhere in your storage, whoever programmed you left like the equivalent of a bookmark open for a recipe, for like a recipe page he was looking at. You have 1 recipe, but it's a pretty good one.
Ah, this recipe calls for 7 secret herbs and spices. No.
It's
Oh.
KFH, Kentucky Fried Horse.
Anyway.
Fried horse.
I think our scientist was planning to actually do something productive.
Yep.
By the sound of it.
Too productive there. I was going to say in my tour, when we go to that room, I'll be skipping that corridor entirely and just pretending that whole corridor does not exist.
Yep.
But I'll show them the rest of the building. And as I show each room, oh, I like this chemical stuff. I'm going to put that into my jack of all trades and my new bag.
Yeah.
And oh, I like these random plants that I've overgrown. I'll take some of those.
Yeah, as you're finishing up, the guy will say to you, okay, we were told that there was some serious, like, solar gear here. Do you know where it is? He would have been told what to expect.
Scientist Alt F4s.
Yeah, the side just crashes.
I think it's down the basement corridor somewhere. Must be one of the ones we haven't been down. Yeah, check the basement and I'll walk off.
You were the one that didn't actually go into the solar panel room, weren't you? Because you freaked out and ran away from it.
You still know where
You know where it is. He very, very explicitly knows where it is.
Yeah,
Hence
because
why
we
he
avoided
avoided
the
it
whole
so hard.
corridor.
Fine, they can
And-
just ask me. I recorded it.
You're not there.
Yeah, you're cooking like
Yeah, well-
jambalaya or something at the moment.
Yeah, but they can come back up and ask. It's not like they have to get it this second and can't ask later.
Yeah,
It's not like this is one trip down, one trip up. This is multiple trips to get everything up the stairs.
Jason, I hope you know that I've decided the recipe you have available to you is called the Kentucky Derby.
Yes!
Of course.
I am
for,
very
bre-
happy.
for breaded fried horse.
Yeah. That's pretty good, actually.
Thank you.
Okay, so point them to the basement, which I'll intentionally avoid that whole floor. And
Yeah.
what
The
I'll do
entire
while
basement.
while they're looking at the solar panel batteries at the decent room, is once I feel like I'm on my own, I'm gonna pocket some stuff I find on the other floors. So anything I find valuable, I'll pocket and hide away.
Roll stealth because you are unlikely to be properly on your own at any point with an entire caravan milling around and taking inventory.
I'll jack of all trades first, then.
Great stuff.
No, that's gonna call for a Betty, because fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
You ain't using any of mine. I'm not visible.
That's one pass.
You passed.
Oh,
yay.
that does not help because I've got a default D4. Fuck's sake.
Does it not increase it? Nope.
No, I think what. Oh, that should be a worthwhile question. Have I recovered a wound yet from my 2 wounds?
What was the wound recovery rate?
5 days. Unless you me.
Days.
So no.
Yeah, I think it's taken you about 4 days to get in. Obviously, it took you a little while to get back into the city, so I think you probably have.
Is that just 1 wound I've recovered then out
Yeah.
of 2? So that
What?
last stealth roll was a basic pass then.
Yay.
So you won't be able to get anything fancy, but you'll be able to pocket a couple things.
Mainly for the jack of all trades bag, but anything. As I don't say anything valuable, I was also looking at that, but if I don't find that's fine.
Yeah, I'll let you sneak some jack of all trades stuff that you won't have to give back, but you're not gonna be able to pocket anything particularly valuable on just a success.
So,
Okay. And then what's everyone else doing?
I will be. I basically would have gone up to the roof and keeping lookout, like doing a patrol. Essentially.
I imagine the robot has gone over to one of the carts, essentially pulled like the metal dome off one of the wheels to use as a big like wok style pan to fill with oil for frying.
Takes his own engine grease to to cook in.
Yeah, also, sure, they don't have much in the way of like fossil fuel oils for lubricants, but peanuts aren't terrible to farm. So you'll open up a little compartment and pull out like a bottle of peanut oil that is meant to use for like lubricating his joints.
I can believe that. Everything tastes of peanuts that we eat.
Mm.
Yum.
I am literally killing myself to cook this.
No, you're not. You're
Don't worry.
freezing yourself. You're giving yourself arthritis to cook this.
Don't worry, robot. We appreciate it.
And not everything will taste of peanuts. Peanut oil is a great oil for frying.
I never actually used it.
Yeah, it's got a nice high smoke point.
That's pretty good. I might look for some.
So you do. The robot makes some lunch. Valve shows them around and manages to nick some stuff. And you set up probably your worst shooter on the roof with a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's one worse shooter.
The pacifist.
Actually done more damage than I have, the pacifist.
But while stuff is being checked, people are like eating around watch. I'll get notice and bet from yours. And Bane, since you're on the roof, you get an advantage to this.
Hey, cool.
I'll give you +2.
Sweet.
But everyone rolling notice.
Not you. You're inside.
That's why I asked.
Oh, that reminds me, Dan. I sent you a message about the about an exosuit. If you read it. What? Thank God I got that, 'cause I got a success. Wait, what?
Testbed, are you rolling?
To notice? I mean, I can if you want.
What was
I'm
that?
wrong. A little
You're-
bit of
you're one
notice
of-
every now and then.
You're one of the better people for notice.
Did I roll that wrong? No, I didn't.
You've got a modifier of 2 in there for some reason.
Yeah, because he gave me +2 for it.
There, yeah.
Because I'm on the roof.
There you go, a 7 and a 3.
So we got pass, essentially.
Yeah.
One second.
Sure.
There you go, Bane. I've answered your question. Yeah. So I'll say Bane from Testbed from where you are. You won't be able to see anybody, but there'll be noises like a slight slip of rubble, like clattering against each other, that lets you know there is somebody about.
Mm.
And from up on the roof, Bane,
Mhm.
you wouldn't be able to get an idea of like how many, but you will see that there are people like in a couple places just like moving about, getting into buildings. Presumably, you'd assume that they're scavs.
Yeah.
Whenever you say scavs, I'm always like so close. Is he saying chav?
I can't say that, that's on my stream. No, I'm not saying that. I would basically shout, "Hey! Sort off!" And shout basically to alert that there are people. I'd bellow it, essentially. So it's very audible for the people who are near us, like, for... I can't remember your new character. Gahir and Testbed.
You say that like it's still not going to be easy for them to hear because you are yelling, like normal human voice yelling from the top of a building.
Do I have a... I thought we had like a megaphone or something that I had.
I think you
I
thought
guess-
about getting one. I don't think you ever
I
actually-
don't
Yeah, I
a
think we
megaphone
thought
has
about it.
ever come up.
No, Alistair brought it up. I just don't think we
I
actually
don't
got
remember
it.
that.
I thought it was last week. Fair enough. I thought you made one or something. I might have dreamt it. I don't know.
I mean, you have one very loud thing you can use.
Yeah, I'll take a warning shot towards one of the scavs. Or just in that general direction, essentially.
Roll to shoot then.
Crit failure. You now
I break
stab
the-
between the eyes.
I kill this.
The Tom wasn't cursed, it was that gun all along.
I miss.
You're lucky that's not a critical fail.
Yes, I'm very lucky it's not a critical fail.
I mean, to be fair, you were trying to miss. It was a warning shot.
Yeah.
So surely by failing, that means you've hit, right?
No, the issue is that he's using a laser gun. It's not very loud. So he misses badly enough they don't even notice.
I'll inform whoever's down at the bottom by May that there's people moving in the area, because I heard them.
Right, Robot, keep me informed. Tell me if it looks like they're a threat to our dinner.
I like your priorities.
Trying to assess what a threat to a dinner is.
Wouldn't the person eating it be a threat to the dinner? So you
It
just
is
go on
still
high alert.
edible. So I guess unless they are eating it instead of you, it's not a threat to the dinner. Because even if this thing rolls in the dirt, it's still edible.
Robot, if it looks like anyone is going to take an action that would result in me not being able to ignore them and having to stop eating my dinner in order to live, it is a threat to my dinner. Threats that I need to know about include someone's about to attack us, someone's looking for me and they look like they have a stern look on their face, someone particularly hungry is wandering past.
I'm gonna start moving down the stairs.
Brief moment where Testbed's considering, this guy just showed up, I don't have to listen to him.
Yes, you're learning! We're teaching you!
No, it's fine, I'll make sure no one rocks up and ruins his dinner.
The brief moment was there, we're cracking him.
Right, are you just going to be like keeping an eye out, like waiting? You're going to be sending somebody to scout around?
I guess I'm going to go scout, because
Yeah,
that's the most
like-
active job to not fucking
Kill everyone.
make sure this guy's dinner gets disturbed.
Are you sure you want Testbed to go and do it?
No, if I'm honest.
Yes, it'd be funny.
Oh, I
I'm
know
not
who can send to
stopping
do it. Opal can do it.
Fine, I'm valuable enough that they'll just take me and leave.
Yeah, they'll just steal you. Opal will do it.
Yeah, you just can roll like notice, like stealth, and then like notice to send Opal out to see what's happening.
I'm gonna
I
get
think
Opal.
it's Bane's turn to control Opal.
Yep.
Oh, not Testbed.
Never my turn.
Yeah, I control the weak one, but this is my idea, so at least control for this one. For this roll. Stealth. And what was the other one?
Stealth. Well, you rolled stealth. Okay, yeah. So Opal would be able to like get about unseen and unheard. Now it's notice to see whether she can find them to see what they're doing and get information.
Why does she have a -2 to notice?
Just don't pay attention.
Still got a 9!
Was that from something?
I don't know, it just has -2 specifically on notice.
I believe it's from one of her like racial weaknesses or something.
She is blind.
Haha.
Maybe?
I guess you could always double check with Gem if she remembers, because obviously Gem's
I would, but
she
she's in
wasn't
London.
super. Oh right.
She's not here. I don't see anything, which is why she's getting it.
I'll presume a race then, surely.
It's gotta be, yeah.
Notice was D6 or something. I just accidentally put it up to D10.
Jesus.
Yeah, D6.
I think the -2 might have been from something in specific that she put in for a thing. Because, what? Assassin, extraction.
Yes, I don't know any of those, but none of them sound like the kind of thing that would give you a -2 for notice.
Yeah, I don't think so. But yeah. So, what Opal will be able to find as she's sneaking around, and, is that this is all. There are a lot of people here. This seems like more or less an entire Scav clan has come out, presumably in the hopes of getting a big haul.
Yeah.
That she can see them as she's moving around. they are planting some form of device, potentially explosive, potentially smokes, like you saw last time. Either way, they look fairly improvised on a number of buildings, like in the area.
I'm going to be informing pretty much everyone on my way down that there's a lot of probably scavs coming to this location. Be prepped. And I'd definitely go and find Velves.
I assume Velves, once he's shown them around, grabbed some bits, does come outside to eat.
Yeah, I was. While they were searching, I was going to search for any maps of the uni campus. But yeah, that must be in that route, heading to either the front or, as you guys say, the outside.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got a lot of people
There
coming
would be
in.
some, but a lot of them would just be, I think, too faded from like sun bleaching and age at this point to really be legible.
That's fair.
From what you can see, it looks like it's the type of campus where rather than being all in one big spot in the city, like they're spread all over the place. It's got buildings like on various streets in the city centre.
That makes sense. Yep, so seeing that map, I'll start my route to head back and join with the group with their meal.
Would, this is an odd one to ask, would windows be able to be broken by laser weaponry?
That's actually a good question. What kind of lasers are these?
Like, I imagine, like,
I'm
if you
gonna
put
say
enough of them in,
yes.
like, thermal would do it.
Yeah,
but-
I'm gonna say yes. The the sudden heat transfer,
Yeah.
causes enough like localized expansion to shatter the glass.
Yeah,
makes
I was just gonna say, it would also be a bit odd if I could, like, stand behind a closed window and fire through, like, glass and hit people without breaking my window. I'm just, while we've got a little bit of time, I'm just going to quickly, like, fire, like, single shots through a bunch of, like, the ground floor windows in a bunch of the buildings. And if I finish all the ground floor windows, I'm going to start, like, breaking second floor windows in the area.
I'm going to hand you the rifle to shoot as well, 'cause it's got basically most of a clip left in it.
Well, it's daytime.
True. Hand it you as well, because you're probably a better shot with it than me.
I have my gun. There's nothing
Is
I can
Opal
do
just
at
coming
me.
back to relay stuff? Is she going to wait for them to move on and try and like steal one of the devices so you can check what they are? What's happening?
I think that seems like a good idea. Like, grab a device, find out what it is.
Bring it back from the gun.
Yeah, pretty much my thought. Also, if it turns out to be a bomb, we can use it on them.
I guess I would say I want Opal to roll. What would it be? I guess it would just be A, to roll stealth again to see whether she's caught, like, while she's taking this thing off.
That's fair. That's alright.
So, no, she's not going to get caught taking this thing off, fortunately.
Maybe you wanted her to get caught.
What's the appropriate roll? Let's see. Alright, I'll say in Opal's case specifically, I'll let you roll her occult knowledge, so the magic one, basically, for getting this off, because she knows a lot of stuff about scavs, so she might know how to get these things off safely.
That's fair.
That's her, like, occult skill thing.
Yeah.
5. So I pass.
So Noble, fortunately, is familiar, not necessarily with this exact make, but familiar enough with these devices so that you have to hold them a certain way to take them off without setting them off. So she does so, and would sneak her way back over to you,
Yeah.
bringing with her. Essentially, it's a box about the size as like a chippy takeaway container. The polystyrene ones, not the plastic ones.
Yeah. Collab shop box is what I think immediately when you say that.
But she'll bring back to you, and I guess it would be repair to take a look at it, figure out exactly what it is. She'd be able to tell you that because a lot of scavs live out here, for big operations, they are known to find weak buildings and see if they can just break them down on the spot to essentially make a small local dust storm.
Ah, okay.
Can I
Just
assist?
bring
with this
down
prep?
the rubble, kicks up all the dust, and
Mm.
yeah. So whoever's doing it can be assisted, obviously.
Okay, I'll assist Opal then.
Oh, I thought you'd be doing the main role. I don't think
Oh,
she has
I can do
repair.
the main role.
Yeah, I don't think she has repair.
Sure. Anyone assisting me?
I'll give you a hand with
Yeah, I think it'd just be a detriment. So.
I can assist
Right.
with repairs.
Oh, actually, yeah, you've got an actual repair skill. Go do that.
Yeah, but both the characters I'm currently controlling do not have repair, so it's a bad idea, I think.